thriving in the golden era of English literature. The English collective experienced two renaissances in the realm of literature and two sovereigns in the realm of politics. It was a period of transition in all aspects of English life. The year 1605, when King Lear was drafted, was only 2 years after the ascension of King James to the English throne. Under Queen Elizabeth I, the playing company had been Lord Chamberlain's men, enjoying any generous patronage under the gentry within the Queen's Privy Council. Later, it was renamed the King's Men, licensed under the direct patronage of King James, which transformed the relationship between the company and the monarchy significantly. In fact, it was argued that this change was one of the factors conspiring to Shakespeare's turning to tragedy.
Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you, shall we say, doth love us most?
Love is a scapegoat for the tragedy that befalls. The play as it is deployed is the fundamental determinant of political legitimacy in Lear's kingdom, in which love and sovereignty are intertwined during the transition from the Elizabethan era to the Jacobean era. Following Lear's question, his first two daughters, Goneril and Regan, respond with honeyed speeches and attain absolute sovereignty over Albany and Cornwall respectively, whereas the youngest, Cordelia, falls short of words and in return receives banishment from the kingdom. From this point on, we are faced with two notions of love represented by Goneril on one side and Cordelia on the other, which are eros versus agape. According to medieval theology, which was passed on to the time of the Reformation, Eros was associated with the Roman god of love, Cupid, who is thought to represent disordered love, love that was directed by desire and passion. Starting off with deceit, Goneril and Regan scheme their way through the power play, which leads to the downfall of her entire villainous camp. Agape, on the opposite, was the love of God. It is the genesis of all virtue, all that is good. Cordelia, who remains loyal to the patriarchal figures including Lear and King of France, represents agape, the virtue that conforms to the order of society. In the 16th and the 17th century, England experienced the norms of love that were heavily ordered by Protestant theology. Since sexuality was condemned by the Church due to the Christian anxiety towards social chaos, love turned into a form of faith between God and human beings and was institutionalized through religious rituals and civil responsibilities such as marriage and family. As Christian callings, marriage and family were inseparable from the concept of love, in which moral value was only achieved through the practice of monogamous fidelity. Following the success of the Reformation, the patriarchal order was strengthened by designating a new role for the head of the household, either the father or the husband. As the protector of the religious and moral conduct of the family members, women, hence, became the subject of the patriarchal figure in both the domestic and public scenes. Elementary to family life, love was inevitably dictated under the twofold framework of Christianity and patriarchy. Love in both notions has everything to do with sovereignty, since it is not a passionate act of ordinary commoners but a political act of supreme monarch. Traditionally, the English monarchy is rooted in the Christian ideal of divinity. Kingship is based on the doctrine of the divine right that bestows the God-given authority on the monarch. Appointed by God, his omnipresent power to fit double bodies of God and man. The king, who had a body natural as well as his body politics, was entitled God's lieutenant, who directed the fate of the realm. Love in the world of the monarchy is thus different from an act of romance practiced in the world of the ordinary. It is because love is attached to the status of a monarch who is the head of the state. Marriage was a symbolic act normalized by Christian faith as well as the patriarchal institutions. The property-owning classes, especially the gentry, viewed marriage as a solemn matter of economic transaction to securing the political power of the marital union, which includes their entire lineage over a spatial boundary. One of the most revered monarchs English history has ever witnessed is Queen Elizabeth I, whose love was preserved only for the realm. Elizabeth refused to meddle sovereignty with an unordered form of love or secular eros and locate her policies within an ordered form of love or divine agape. For the whole of her eros-less reign, Elizabeth's legitimacy, as well as the long-running unity of Protestant England, lie in her determination to rule England strictly in the framework of political sovereignty.
Now that the public care of governing the kingdom is laid upon me, to draw upon me also the cares of marriage may seem a point of inconsiderate folly. Yea, to satisfy you, I have already joined myself in marriage to an husband, namely the Kingdom of England.
Unlike Elizabeth, Lear is unable to draw the line between eros and agape, which culminates in the ambiguity where sovereignty and love are confused, and eventually the chaos that propels the entire play. The open-ended denouement of the conflated version, presumably born out of the collaboration of the king's men, might have functioned as a dramatization of the perils of division. After all, Lear's realm becomes no more than a rogue state with no ruler that awaits the unknown. England at the time was in a similar circumstance. The self-proclaimed King of Great Britain was not at all synced to the entirety of his people. In the same year King Lear was written. The gunpowder plot, which was the most daring attempted assassination of James, was carried out by the radical Catholics who endeavored to re-establish Catholicism in England despite its failure. The plot exposed the divisions in the post-Elizabethan kingdom and the instability of his sovereignty. Inevitably, not only was it due to his status as a foreign monarch, who happened to be a strong believer of Protestantism, but it was also due to the ambiguity of the signification of his sovereignty. Coming into the new reign, the concept of sovereignty was also in the process of obtaining a new meaning signified by a new monarch. What would this new sovereignty mean to the unity of England? What would it affect English society as a whole? These questions are raised as the play imagines the prospect of a united kingdom like one that James thought and Lear fractured.